The table in front of the two of them was covered with bottles.
The point is...
He tried to focus on Aziraphale.
The point is...
he said, and tried to think of a point.
The point I'm trying to make is the dolphins. That's my point.
Kind of fish?
No. It's mammal. Your actual mammal. Difference is...
Crowley waded through the swamp of his mind and tried to remember the difference.
Difference is they...
Mate out of water?
Crowley's brow furrowed.
Don't think so. Pretty sure that's not it. Something about they're young. Whatever.
He pulled himself together.
The point is, their brains.
He reached for a bottle.
What about their brains?
Big brains. That's my point. Size of damn big brains. And then there's the whales. Brain City. Take it from me. Whole damn sea full of brains.
Kraken,
said Aziraphale, staring moodily into his glass. Crowley gave him the long, cool look of someone who had just had a girder dropped in front of his train of thought.
Huh?
Great big bugger, sleepeth beneath the thunders of the upper deep, under loads of huge and unnumbered bloody great seaweeds, you know, supposed to rise to the surface right at the end when the sea boils.
Yeah?
Fact.
There you are then. Whole sea bubbling. Poor old dolphins. So much seafood gumbo. No one giving a damn. Same with gorillas. Whoops, they say. Sky gone all red. Stars crashing to ground. What are they putting in the bananas these days? And then...
They make nests, you know. Gorillas.
Said the angel, pouring another drink and managing to hit the glass on the third go.
Nah.
God's truth. Saw a film. Nests.
That's birds.
Nests.
Crowley decided not to argue the point.
There you are then. All creatures great and small. Great and small. Lots of them with brains, and then bazam!
But you're part of it. You tempt people. You're good at it.
Crowley thumped his glass on the table.
That's different. They don't have to say yes. That's the ineffable bit, right? Your side made it up. You've got to keep testing people, but not to destruction.
All right. I don't like it any more than you, but I told you, I can't not do what I'm told. I'm an angel.
There's no theatres in heaven, and very few films.
Don't you try to tempt me. I know you, you old serpent.
Just you think about it. You know what eternity is? You know what eternity is? I mean, do you know what eternity is? There's this big mountain, see, 1 mile high at the end of the universe. And once every 1,000 years, there's this little bird.
What little bird?
This little bird I'm talking about. And every 1,000 years...
The same bird every 1,000 years?
Yeah.
Bloody ancient bird, then.
OK. And every 1,000 years, this bird flies...
Limps.
Flies all the way to this mountain and sharpens its beak.
Hold on. You can't do that. Between here and the end of the universe, there's loads of...
The angel waved a hand expansively, if a little unsteadily.
Loads of bugger all, dear boy.
But it gets there anyway.
How?
It doesn't matter.
It could use a spaceship.
Crowley subsided a bit.
Yeah, if you like. Anyway, this bird...
Only it is the end of the universe we're talking about, so it'd have to be one of those spaceships where your descendants are the ones who get out at the other end. You have to tell your descendants. You say, when you get to the mountain, you've got to... What have they got to do?
Sharpen its beak on the mountain, and then it flies back.
In the spaceship?
And after 1,000 years, it goes and does it all again.
There was a moment of drunken silence.
Seems a lot of effort just to sharpen a beak.
Listen, the point is that when the bird has worn the mountain down to nothing, right, then...
Aziraphale opened his mouth. Crowley just knew he was going to make some point about the relative hardness of birds' beaks and granite mountains, and plunged on quickly.
Then you still won't have finished watching The Sound of Music.
Aziraphale froze.
And you'll enjoy it. You really will.
My dear boy.
You won't have a choice.
Listen.
Heaven has no taste.
Now.
And not one single sushi restaurant.
A look of pain crossed the angel's suddenly very serious face.
I can't cope with this while I'm drunk. I'll go to sober up.
Me too.
They both winced as the alcohol left their bloodstreams and sat up a bit more neatly. Aziraphale straightened his tie.
I can't interfere with divine plans.
Crowley looked speculatively into his glass and then filled it again.
What about diabolical ones?
Pardon?
Well, it's got to be a diabolical plan, hasn't it? We're doing it. My side.
Ah, but it's all part of the overall divine plan. Your side can't do anything without it being part of the ineffable divine plan.
You wish.
No, that's the...
Aziraphale snapped his fingers irritably.
The thing, what do you call it in your colourful idiom? The line at the bottom.
The bottom line.
Yes, it's that.
Well, if you're sure.
No doubt about it.
Crowley looked up slyly.
Then you can't be certain, correct me if I'm wrong, you can't be certain that thwarting it isn't part of the divine plan too. I mean, you're supposed to thwart the wiles of the evil one at every turn, aren't you?
Aziraphale hesitated.
There is that, yes.
You see a wile, you thwart, am I right?
Broadly. Actually, I encourage humans to do the actual thwarting, because of ineffability, you understand.
Right. So all you've got to do is thwart, because if I know anything, it's that the birth is just the start. It's the upbringing that's important. It's the influences. Otherwise, the child will never learn to use its powers. At least, not necessarily as intended.
Certainly our side won't mind me thwarting you. They won't mind that at all.
Right. It'd be a real feather in your wing.
Crowley gave the angel an encouraging smile.
What will happen to the child if it doesn't get a satanic upbringing, though?
Probably nothing. It'll never know.
But genetics...
Don't tell me from genetics. What have they got to do with it? Look at Satan. Created as an angel, grows up to be the great adversary. Hey, if you're going to go on about genetics, you might as well say the kid will grow up to be an angel. After all, his father was really big in heaven in the old days. Saying he'll grow up to be a demon just because his dad became one is like saying a mouse with its tail cut off will give birth to tailless mice. No, upbringing is everything. Take it from me.
And without unopposed satanic influences?
Well, at worst, hell will have to start all over again, and the Earth gets at least another 11 years. That's got to be worth something, hasn't it?
Now Aziraphale was looking thoughtful again.
You're saying the child isn't evil of itself?
Potentially evil, potentially good too, I suppose. Just this huge, powerful potentiality waiting to be shaped.
He shrugged.
Anyway, why are we talking about this good and evil? They're just names for sides. We know that.
I suppose it's got to be worth a try.
Crowley nodded encouragingly.
Agreed?
Said the demon, holding out his hand. The angel shook it cautiously.
It'll certainly be more interesting than saints.
And it'll be for the child's own good in the long run. We'll be godfathers, sort of. Overseeing his religious upbringing, you might say.
Aziraphale beamed.
You know, I'd never have thought of that. Godfathers? Well, I'll be damned.
It's not too bad, when you get used to it.